Hello, my name is Catherine Benson and welcome to my first ever writing vlog. Today we're tackling Chapter 10 of Variant's third draft. Basically, my process is to take from the second draft and change up what I'm not a huge fan of. Believe it or not, I cut a lot of scenes I absolutely adored in the first two drafts. Maybe they'll make an appearance later in this draft, but I haven't figured out where to put them yet. This is my word count so far. We are at 25,807 words, and while I'm doing this, I'm going to lure dump about my whip. Variant started as X-Men fanfiction in quarantine. I started it, scrapped it, didn't think about it for 3 years, and then when the hyperfixation came back in 2023, I realized that the only thing making it a fanfic was one character, so I decided to make it its own thing. I spent the first year and a half world building, coming up with characters and scenes, and then finally sat down and wrote the story in late 2024, early 2025. And now for my favorite part, the lore dump. So the main characters in my story are called variants. Variants are regular people who have had a life-altering trauma happen to them. Think about it like Darwinism. Almost drowning gives you water powers, getting stuck in a fire gives you fire powers, etc. In comparison, a civvy is a person without powers. Not every person who faces a trauma gets a variation, but those who do have the opportunity to go to a boarding school to help them learn how to control it and integrate back to society. Speaking of schools, there's two major ones in my story: Wood Creek and Gateway Prep. Wood Creek is the main school. It was started in 1925 by Ida Bardot, who moved some of the more vulnerable students out of Gateway due to overcrowding. Wood Creek's student body is mostly composed of students who have been abandoned by their parents, whereas Gateway is 50% suburban rich kids and 50% local city kids. Wood Creek is considered special because they have this special group called the Legion, which is a group of variant faculty who go on missions to help the community, prevent crime, and make sure legislators aren't being total bigots and making their lives harder than they actually are. It was started by Damien Yo and Ida Bardot in 1969, originally to act as a sort of civil rights movement for variants at that time. Over time, they had to switch gears and work together with the government to prevent their school being shut down in exchange for better protections. On the flip side, there's Honor Watch, which was a group of variants led by a man named Manser who killed less powerful variants and took control of the ones who fought back in order to take over the government. On the civvy side, there's a group called VEST, which used to stand for Variant Extermination Squad, but later rebranded to Variant Education Squad. VEST is a group of militant civvy extremists that publicly call for the shutdown of variant-based boarding schools for fear they're teaching kids how to take over the world and turn other people into variants. They were started in 1789 by Ida's older brother and were called Variant Extermination Squad based on the fact that they originally were formed to hunt and kill Ida, though they eventually decided with a leadership change to focus on eradicating variants as a whole. That brings us to Forsyth. Forsyth is a small town near Wood Creek that is well known for its lack of protections for variants. In my story, they house the largest VEST facility in Missouri and houses the overall antagonist of the trilogy. The current leader of VEST is a man named Ulysses Olivet, who doesn't have anything to really do with Ida, but is connected to two of my characters in a way that I think will be interesting for me to write and you to read about. He has a son named Jason who, in my story, is running for president and is feared by the protagonist for aligning with his father's values. I hope this was as interesting for you to watch as it was for me to talk about. Subscribe to my channel for more cozy writing vlogs and to hear me yap about Variant. And yeah, have a good day.